Oh, it started. Well. Anyways, we live.
I was getting ready to get into the mood and it just cut short. And
You know what? All right. Anyways, I'm not sure what just happened. Hammer got cut off. So let's send this new link so he can hop back on this. Technical difficulties. We'll start the intro over in a minute. There we go.
I don't know.
It kicked you out once it loaded up. Anyway, run the.
That was hilarious. Are we good? We're back? Better than ever?
We good. I actually I got my boy Ben from Fantasy Shot Callers. He said he'll work on the intro for us. So I'm like, all right, send me
Good stuff.
something, and
Good stuff.
that'll be good. Couple things popping off. Jackson, what is good? Oh, man, I gotta hop in the chat and put the
Jackson is the guy. Jackson is that dude.
All right, Johnny D, what up, Johnny?
That's your guy.
And Johnny's cool. I don't know how when who's Johnny D? I don't know exactly who Johnny D is. But what up, man, and welcome and thank you for joining in. I'm sure he's been on before. I just recognize the name lately. Of course, we appreciate y'all. Jackson, you need some big questions, bro. What's good, Jackson? What you got? Please,
we got you
hope
covered.
You didn't make no moves, but of course we got you covered.
No, Jackson's been on the shit.
If you did make a dumb move, we'll help you fix it, bro. We'll help you fix it. But I mean, shit, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, there's 2 weeks left. You know pretty much now whether you are in the playoffs or not, whether you have a chance, whether you need the fantasy gods with you or not. So I'm in a few fantasy god positions. So we'll see how that runs. But anyway, what you got, Jackson? Tommy, what up, Tommy? Happy birthday, Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. It's time to hunt some bear.
We own you.
Looks like Aaron is playing.
Yeah, because it's the Bears. Why doesn't he want to play? Why wouldn't he want to play against the Bears?
As long as they're mathematically in it, he said, he'll be playing. If they're not, then he knows that conversation is coming. So hopefully y'all can stay mathematically in it. Do you have to run the table, I'm guessing, at this point? I mean,
yeah, currently I believe it is Washington and the Giants in the 6-7 spot for the wild cards, the last two at 7 and 5. And we lost to both of those teams. So I don't, apparently they're mathematically alive. I have no idea how. So essentially they're 3 games back of those teams with how many? 6 to go in the regular season. So no, 5 to go. 5 to go. 5 games.
Hey, Johnny said facing off against Josh Allen last night. Yeah, bro. Josh Allen was disappointing.
Yeah,
very disappointing.
I played Josh Allen as well.
Guy in our group chat was saying Josh Allen was better than Mahomes, and I was
that's
like,
just
my
not
homeboy
true.
would have never did. My homeboy would have never did this to me in a game I needed. But nearly everyone in the league is 6-6. Johnny said, "Yeah, I mean, listen, there's some leagues that be like that. It all depends. So looks like everybody is in the hunt. So the points are most likely
matter.
Come into play. If that's how your league is decided or head to head. I mean, I don't know what I think most leagues nowadays are points, but there could be some head to head ones as well. I think I'm actually in one league where it's head to head matchups. I don't like it.
Well, I mean, I understand it, but the points it's just easier because
over the course of the season, how well you performed over the course of the season instead of just that 1 week you played that team,
Yeah, and you could have had a game during the season where like 3 of your guys were on a bye, 4 of your guys were on a bye, and you lost to that team just because you didn't have your big guns. You know what I mean? So
exactly. exactly. Timmy said full PPR, Pacheco, Jeff Wilson, Lenny, or Perrine need one. Is Mixon ruled out yet? Or I don't know.
No, he's still in concussion protocol. I got the sleeper alert today that Joe Mixon's still in concussion protocol, but he has a questionable tag so far. So I don't think there's any definitive answer on that.
It's like Fournette's back. He practiced in full, so he should be good to go. I mean, Mostert, I believe, is back this week or almost back. I think it depends. You might have to wait on this. Well, who are you going with, Hammer? I mean,
As
go
this,
with
yeah, so Mostert will play. But even still, I still love me some Jeff Wilson. I just think that they run him. I mean, obviously he didn't get as full a slate as we thought because of the blowout, and he wasn't really that efficient in his carries anyway, but he did get the touchdown. So to be honest with you, I just like Jeff Wilson's overall role in the offense. If Mixon plays, P Ryan is not really shouldn't be a factor. And it looks like he probably will play, but like I said, you got to keep your eyes on this. So it's really between Jeff Wilson and Fournette. But this is a tough one. I would go Jeff Wilson here just because, like I said, even with Mostert there, I still like his role in the offense. Leonard Fournette is just, it seems like they like Rachaad White and he's been running better. And Pacheco, you just don't know. You know what I mean? I still think he has a role, but I would lean Jeff Wilson here just on the surface.
It's close between Pacheco and Jeff Wilson, but I just don't trust Pacheco yet, even though they've got almost like nobody. I mean, they signed Melvin Gordon, but who knows if he's even gonna get on the field. I think McKinnon is questionable, but he'll probably play. So yeah, it's close between Pacheco and Wilson. Um, Your thing is with Pacheco is like he has to get in the end zone or else you're not really racking up points, especially if it's PPR. And Jeff Wilson, even in the passing game, he'll be involved over there. So yeah, I think I'll go with Jeff Wilson as well. Lenny, I'm not going to go with first game back. Um, Not sure what kind of workload they're going to give him, and he hasn't been great anyway with White kind of getting into his carries and everything. So yeah, I'll roll with Jeffy Boy as well. All right, let's get into some of these games right quick. Jets Vikings,
Why is that the first game?
because like you said, probably because the Vikings are my thing that's on here. I don't know.
It is. That's why.
Anyway, it's the best game. Jets
It's the best
Vikings,
game. Get the fuck out. That's
Minnesota
clearly not the best game.
at Minnesota, the best team. So
No.
uh, at Minnesota, we've got obviously JJ's a beast. Kirk's doing his thing. Dalvin Cook has been good. Should reach double-digit touchdowns by the end of the season and 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 yards possibly. Right on target. Jets, I mean, Mikey White looked good last game.
Garrett
Vikings,
Wilson.
Vikings defense isn't great. They suck actually. Garrett Wilson looked good. So
Jets defense.
Jets defense is pretty good. This could be a shootout. I mean, who knows? Or it could be low scoring. I mean, I don't know. I still got the Vikes, but I mean, fantasy wise, you're probably playing Wilson. You're playing White, I guess, if you're desperate, or in 2 QB or super flex. But
Wilson. Oh, Garrett Wilson.
yeah, Garrett Wilson, and then you've got what's his name, the Donovan dude. Looks like Michael Carter's doubtful, so he doesn't look like he's gonna play. So it looks like Donovan will again be there. J Rob's getting frustrated. He's like, "Why'd they bring me here?" He just has
Mm-hmm.
like a do not play. Like you're inactive, bro. Like why did you even sign
That's
him?
weird. Yeah, that's wild.
But I mean, shit, take the money, whatever.
No, no.
But yeah, what do you think about this Jets Vikings?
Yeah, it's an intriguing matchup for all the reasons you laid out. Vikings have a good offense. Jets have a good defense. It seems like Mike White has kind of lifted that offense as well. So I don't think the Jets offense is anything to sneeze at, especially with Mike White at the helm. I still do like the Vikings here, but would it surprise me if the Jets won? No, it wouldn't.
Justin Jefferson, 1,232 yards. Him and Cheetah
We know he's
lead.
awesome. We know he's awesome. Why
No,
I
I'm just
don't
looking at the
understand why we're
numbers.
doing this.
I'm like 81 for 1,232. Like years ago, that used to be like amazing, and
It's a passing league, bro.
it's still early. But yeah, him and Cheetah are kind of going crazy. All right, next game we got here: Steelers Falcons. Hammer at
This is
Atlanta. What you got?
Falcons are home. This is probably one of the tougher games I'm gonna have to pick. There's a couple other tough ones that I was looking at as well. Um, Steelers have looked better each week as we go along. The Steelers did win on Monday night in Indianapolis, I believe. So that was a big confidence booster for them, for those young guys. And we keep talking about the Steelers week in and week out, and we like what they have, young, athletic, skill position guys. Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, Fryermuth, Najee, that's a nice core there to build with. And the Falcons are weird. So man, this is a tough one. Falcons at home. Falcons can make plays as well, but this is essentially a 50-50 game to me, to be honest with you. I'll take the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean Najee said he's playing. Warren said he's playing. So it's tough to really pick a running back to play in that backfield. You
No,
don't know
you can play
who's going to
Najee.
be limited. I mean, if Najee's playing, I guess you got to play him. But is he going to be limited in any type of way? I mean, I don't know. But he's been solid lately. Said he's going to play, so I guess you got to play him. Really, if you have him. Um, on the other hand, you've got obviously no Pitts. I mean, we thought maybe they'd throw the ball more, to one of their top draft picks in Drake London, but instead they decided Zacchaeus was the man. Um, so that is what it is. You still got split backfield with Patterson and Algier, so it's tough. This is going to be like a boring, low scoring game probably. So, I mean, I guess I'll go with the Falcons, but it
Could
is what
go
it
either way. Yeah.
It is what it is. Alex, what up, Alex? A rookie move. What should I look for when streaming a tight end? It's all right. There's nothing wrong with rookie moves. Joku's out again. Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
did. Dropped Ingram. I was thinking Conklin based on projections, but others on Facebook think differently. I mean, listen, everybody thinks different, so you don't have to base your decision off of what everybody else thinks. Anybody can be right. It's just, an opinion. Dolchich and Harrison Bryant are out there too in such a wild card position. It is a wild card position, and you're never going to be able to guess. It's hard enough to guess right at other positions, let alone tight end, where it's literally just, hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What did Dolchich do last game? I guess it's not a horrible option. I mean, you've got Deshaun Watson coming back, so Harrison Bryant is going to be the guy playing instead of Joku.
Dolchich did nothing. 2
So
catches for 11 on 3 targets.
Ingram, Conklin. I mean, Conklin hasn't been doing nothing really much either, right? I mean, what did he do last week with White?
Better than Dolchich. 3 catches on 3 targets, 50 yards.
Yeah, Ingram is, I think, way too much hit or miss. What's Ingram up to?
Let's see. Ingram. Oof. 1 catch on 1 target for 4 yards, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
He
Conklin
was
isn't
real.
bad. Harrison
Ingram.
Bryant. I mean,
Ingram was really awesome for like a 4 game stretch in the middle there. And we were just like, all right, they got the pieces, they got this, they got that, and then just
it's not none of
nothing.
them are consistent. It's all a crapshoot. So I mean, I'd go with either Conklin or Brian probably. I mean, in hopes that Watson makes something happen. I don't know. Um, but yeah, what do you think, Cameron?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think at this point there's much of a separation. So, kind of look at the matchup. If you like the upside because Deshaun's back, maybe you roll with Harrison Bryant. If you like what Mike White is doing with the Jets right now in that particular offense, you could go with Conklin. It looks like Mike White gives the whole offense more upside. So really, it's really between those two. So you really kind of gotta, pick and choose. But I don't think there's much of a separation where it's going to make a huge difference whether you win or lose. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's kind of the main point. Is it's not it's there's not a difference where you're going to be or it's going to be a win or a loss. I mean, I don't think any of these guys are putting up 20 plus. But let me ask you, who is what are people on Facebook? Who are they telling you to play? I guess that would be the other question there. Let me know, Alex. Angelo, what up, my guy? Pacheco, or I like the is that Juice World? Yeah, it's his birthday today. Pacheco or Rashad. That's tough because Lenny's back. We just kind of talked about Pacheco, where there's nobody really else in that backfield. McKinnon is a little banged up. I don't think Melvin Gordon gets on the field yet, but I mean, with Lenny back, it's tough to not just go with Pacheco, and because we know Pacheco's going to get some work at least. With Richard, I mean, there's a chance that just Lenny looks good and he takes all the work. So it's tough. I'll probably just play it safe and go with Pacheco. What do you think, Cameron?
yeah, I'm going with Pacheco as well. And because they're playing the Bengals, and I think there'll be plenty of offense to go around in that particular game. The Bucks are playing New Orleans, who they notoriously struggle with. So from that standpoint alone, I'm going to go with Pacheco.
Yeah, that's also a good point. No problem, Angelo. No problem. Thanks,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, guys, if you haven't.
See, in this situation, you got to look at the matchups, right? We talked about this before, where it's like, listen, they're two okay options, not the greatest in the world, but we were really high on Rashad White last week, but this is a different situation. Playing New Orleans. New Orleans has been Tampa's nemesis since Tom Brady got there, and Pacheco's playing in what should be a high scoring game against the Bengals. So you like Pacheco to get at least some really good opportunities to cash in for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think the matchup tilts it even more, but even without the matchup, I think I'd like Pacheco this week. But um, let's hop into the next game, which is your Packers at the Bears. What do we got?
Yeah, we got Aaron Rodgers against the team he owns. You know, I think this is a little bit different than years past, to be honest with you. But the Bears aren't exactly a perfect team. They've been getting kind of their butts kicked a little bit. I know Justin Fields wasn't there last week, and that could be a main part of it. But even with Justin Fields going crazy, they were still losing games. So that Bears defense is not good. They got rid of a bunch of their best, older veteran, high priced defenders anyway. And I think Aaron Rodgers just has supreme confidence against the Bears. Christian Watson looks like he's coming into his zone. And even if they have Jordan Love, I still like Christian Watson as a good flex option. So I think there's a ton of guys from the Packers here that you could play. Obviously, Aaron Jones, kind of staying away from AJ Dillon. But yeah, I like the Packers to win here. I think they just feel really confident. Aaron feels really confident playing against the Bears, no matter what the situation is. And, I think there's, some good plays here. I don't know if I will play Aaron, but I would definitely play, obviously, Aaron Jones, Alan Lazard, and then Christian Watson is just a perfect flex option here in this game.
Definitely. Well, yeah, Lazard is tough. Watson, I think you have to play at this point. That come down is going to come. So just, beware when he doesn't score the touchdown and gives you, only a couple points. It is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But for right now, I mean, you roll that hot hand until,
But the one thing I will say is they're putting him in position to make plays. You know what I mean? So that's got to count for something in terms of, hey, listen, maybe this production is here to stay. I'm not saying 6 touchdowns in 3 games is here to stay, but the opportunities combined with the fact that they're designing plays for him and him to use his speed and athleticism. We saw the catch that he made against the Eagles where it was just a quick 3-step drop slant from Jordan Love and gone up the sideline. So I like the play design for him. When Aaron's playing, he he's been throwing it to him deep. So, the opportunities are there and all he needs is one to cash home for you to make it
What
worth
is
the
it,
play.
Lazard or Watson? If you've got to pick between the two,
Lazard.
we're picking Lazard. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still picking Lazard because Lazard has the safer floor. Without that long 63-yard touchdown,
Yeah.
Watson has a pretty, minimal day, considering the tear he's been on. But listen, it's hard to say. You can't count the 63 when it happened. He made the play, he did his thing. So, Watson definitely has the higher upside, but Lazard has the safer floor.
Yeah, I mean, Fields is playing. How much he's going to run with that shoulder, we don't know. But it looks like he is ready to go. Monty, obviously the only guy in that backfield. Herbert's still on IR, so Monty should get some good work as well. No Mooney, of course. So we spoke well, I guess video will come out tomorrow, but briefly about Claypool. I mean, he hasn't been heavily involved, but hasn't played a ton of snaps. I guess he's still kind of learning the offense and everything. Maybe he's a little bit more involved. Again, we don't expect anything crazy. It's not like the Bears have this crazy offense, right, Joker? Uh, Joker, what up? David Montgomery, Rashard White, Jamal Williams, Jeff Wilson, full PPR. Pick one. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Sheesh.
Packers do have a decent defense, run defense anyway. I'm actually surprised he's not just rolling with Montgomery and just forgetting everything
Well,
else. But
yeah,
Jamal Williams is an interesting case here.
yeah. I mean, against the Jags, I mean, they keep getting down to that goal line. It's tough between Monty and Jamal, but I think I'll just take Montgomery because with Fields, with his injury, maybe they hold up a little bit on, his major carries and just give the ball to Monty more. And again, no Herbert, so no Mooney. They've got to get the ball to somebody, and Monty should have a lot of work. So it's tough between Monty or Jamal. Jeff Wilson's kind of close too, but Jamal's been a top 10 guy kind of all season. So it's tough to not go with Jamal because of the touchdowns he's been getting, of course, but obviously very touchdown dependent. But yeah, I think I'll go with Monty just on pure volume for this game, even though the Packers D has been decent. But yeah, what do you think, Hammer?
Yeah, I think I'm leaning that way too. And another thing of note, David Montgomery, week 2 against the Packers, 15 carries, 122 yards. So maybe there's some, scheme confidence there with Montgomery running against that Packers defense. So, this, and obviously no Khalil Herbert, kind of solidifies that notion that David Montgomery is going to have a really good game. So I would lean towards David Montgomery here. But those are some pretty decent options, to be honest, if you have to pick for one of those 4.
Yeah, and Lenny's back, so that's why we're kind of not going with Rashard White, as well as the bad matchup against the Saints. And Wilson's a good play, but I just and Mostert is coming back, so yeah, I think Monty is probably the best play, especially PPR too. So he's going to catch passes as well. He's laughing. I probably when I made the joke before, but yeah, I think the Packers will pull this one out, but you going with the Pack in this game, Hammer?
Why wouldn't I?
Oh man! All right, next game we got Commanders at Giants. 7-5 against 7-4. Commander's been playing well. Obviously, Heineke been slinging it to Terry. Gibson a little bit banged up. It looks like he's going to be okay and going to play, but just something to keep a little eye on. So probably lean on the run again with Robinson. and Gibby, let's see, because they gave Gibby the ball a lot the game before. So I don't know if that had to do with, Gibby being a little bit injured or them just kind of riding the hot hands because Robinson looked good early on. So it's interesting to see kind of how that exactly is going to play out. But Giants, on the other hand, I mean, trying to get the ball to Saquon all they can. They've got literally no other playmaker, so everybody's focused on Saquon. Um, do they re-sign him in the offseason? What is that going to look like? Is that going to happen or not? Lately, there's been talk about him going to the Bears. I don't know if that'll happen, but I guess it is a possibility. But yeah, what do you think about this game, Hammer? Giants Commanders.
Yeah, I like the Commanders here. They've just been playing better. They have better overall offensive talent at each position. Heineke, we've been talking about it for about a month now. Heineke's been playing really well. He's got that team playing with confidence. He's really elevated that entire team, So I just think I don't know how the Giants are 7-4 or whatever they are. I
They
don't know
should have
how.
lost. They should have lost a bunch of games early in the season, and they wound up getting lucky and pulled them out.
I don't know how.
But now
Yeah,
it's
I'm
starting to
taking the
come.
Commanders
Now it's
here.
starting to come to life that they're just not actually as good as we thought they were. But yeah,
Yeah, I like the Commanders here.
Slayton, decent play. I guess there's no other wide receivers they got there. So if you need a wide receiver, Slayton, I guess, you can drop in there. That's other than Terry. There's really nobody else you can play. I mean, Terry Robinson and Gibby are the only kind of playable guys on Washington side, and really only Saquon, the only playable guy on the Giants side. Maybe Slayton as well. Trick, what up, fucker?
There it is. That train is never late. That train
What
is
is up,
never late.
Patrick? Next game we got here is the Titans, the Eagles. The Titans that just find a way to win. At the 10-1 Eagles, you've got Jalen Hurts and everybody on that side healthy, obviously, other than Go Dirt. Miles Sanders, we kind of were just talking about today in one of our group chats. Has been playing decently well this season. Well, been playing well, I guess, for his standards. Had two real big games. The rest of the season's kind of been okay. But then you've got on the other hand, big Mr. King Henry. But yeah, what you got in this game, Hammer? What do you think's going on here?
Yeah, I talked about this last week and I actually picked the Titans. They're coming off a loss to the Bengals. It looks like the Bengals got their shit together. So I was actually surprised that the Bengals won. And I love the Bengals, obviously, this particular season. But I'm gonna go Eagles here. I think they're just the superior offensive team. But listen, Tennessee plays good defense. They're pretty disciplined, but I just think that there's just too much offensive firepower for the Eagles here. If it is a close game, that really puts Jalen Hurts to the test. I know he played fairly well last week. I forgot who they played last week, but they played fairly well. They've been playing some more closer games lately, so I think that's going to benefit them, meaning the Eagles in the long run. But if the Titans can control the game and keep it to like a 20-17 kind of game, then they have a chance. But if the Eagles get more than 24 points, I just don't see Tennessee being able to keep up with them offensively. So I'm going to take the Eagles here.
Yeah, Burks has been, looking good at least,
Pretty good. Yeah.
the past 2 weeks. So, but again, I think we talked about it last week. Just not going to get a ton of volume, but going to have a few catches for some big yards. Definitely a bomb or two.
He had that weird touchdown.
Definitely a bomb or two in there. I mean, Woods has been
Oh, no, that was a week
pretty
before.
shit.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Tannehill next year. She's still going to be on the team. Are they going with the rookie? I don't know. I don't know, man. Patrick said, "Fly Eagles, fly, brother." This is definitely a trap game. Patrick said.
Yeah, listen, the Titans are a well coached, well disciplined, know who they are kind of football team. So I'm not saying that I would be surprised if the Titans won because I wouldn't. I picked the Titans to beat the Bengals last week. And that was a close game. It was a 20-16 kind of ugly type of game. But in the end, the Bengals had the more skilled offensive guys, especially on the outside with a T. Higgins, with some P. Ryan. They had some more explosive guys. Burks is good. Obviously, King Henry is who he is, but at the same time, I just think that the Eagles, if the Eagles get 21, more than 21, I don't think that Tennessee can kind of keep up with that.
Yeah, I can see that. Patrick said correction. The Titans have a great run defense and front seven. Their pass defense is garbage. Yeah.
Well, I
Sure.
just meant overall in terms of keeping teams, under 20, which you know what I mean. That's kind of what I mean. Just overall defense, in terms of keeping teams out of the end zone. They always seem to be in these low scoring type games, 20-17, 20-16 last week. So that's just kind of what I mean by good defense, in terms of keeping people, under 21 points.
I mean, as long as they can run the ball and eat the clock,
Right.
that is what they do. As long as they can stay within 14 points, they have no problem with giving
Right.
Derrick Henry
So listen to
gas.
the last four or five games they played. The last game they played, they lost 20-16 against the Bengals. The game before that, they beat the Packers 27-17. The game before that, they beat Broncos 17-10. The week before that, they lost to the Chiefs 20-17. The game before that, they beat the Texans 17-10. So that's kind of the trend that they are. Keep that team under 20, 17, and they have a good shot to win.
Yeah, I feel you. Jackson said, "Hammer, you so cute, bruh."
Whoa. All right. You know what, Jackson?
He
Since
must
you
have
are the
missed that
guy,
when it came in. I don't know if he was referring to something that you said before or not.
I appreciate you, Jackson.
uh, I- we've got the shit Broncos versus the Ravens. Was this
Oh,
one the one that was supposed to be the primetime game that they changed it or some shit like that?
I have no idea, but that's a good move by the NFL either way.
Yeah, there was something I know they changed that the Broncos were in or something. I don't know if this was the particular game, but anyway, got the Ravens, of course. I mean, the Broncos just
It's bad.
Latavius is all they got in that backfield. So if you got to play Latavius in the flex, that's it's not horrible. I don't know if there's anybody else you can honestly start on that team
Cortland
at all.
Sutton,
I guess
I think you still kind of have to,
if you have to. At
I
flex,
think,
I guess just as good as Latavius Murray. I guess either one of those
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
but you know,
Jerry Judy, questionable.
Judy probably won't play. And then you've got Ravens on the other hand. Lamar's been a little banged up, left practice. I think it was a hamstring or a quad issue. So if you've got Lamar on your team, I mean, heading into the playoffs, I don't know. It's a little bit scary, I guess, because hammies are a big thing, especially
Especially
for a guy like Lamar, where he's,
athletic and dynamic and running around.
and leaning on the run, and that's where he gets those, those extra fantasy points that drafted up for or paid for in Dynasty. So, yeah, in the backfield there, I think Dobbins is close to coming back, but I don't think you want to play really any of those guys. I mean, Gus Edwards has been good. I didn't see an underdog thing for him. Or I know last week we hit it. I think it was only like 39 yards or something like that. So that was solid. But Mark Andrews seems, I think he's okay now, right? I don't think he's got anything
I think Mark Andrews is
going
fine.
on. So he's good. Other than that, nothing much really on that game. Jackson said, "I'm playing. I need start and sits." All right, yeah, of course we know you're playing. I mean, if you're not, it's all right. Jackson said, "Lamar or Fields."
Woo.
That's tough. I mean, I think they're both kind of injured. Fields is kind of back now after taking at least a week off. Lamar is like leaving practice and shit. So I don't know. Uh, maybe you play Fields to just play it safe, even though they're both kind of risky. What do you think, Hammer?
I think this is kind of risky on both ends, right?
That's what I'm
Both of these
saying.
guys are kind of banged up. I trust Lamar a little bit more because they are in playoff contention, and they're still fighting for something. Like nothing is locked up for them just yet. And I think the Bears, if anything happens with Justin Fields, they may pull him out of the game and say, "Sit your young behind on the pine. You're way too valuable to us, in essentially a meaningless game for Chicago." So that's what's going to sway me here is that, Lamar is more likely to play and stay in the game than Justin Fields. So I'm going to roll with Lamar here.
Yeah, I mean, just keep an eye on it. If Lamar plays, then maybe you play Lamar just because again, we kind of I mean, we spoke about it earlier too with Fields. Is he still going to keep running like he is, or is he not?
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, there's both negative things to playing each of them. But yeah, I think I still lean towards Fields. I mean, Broncos have a pretty good D, and if Lamar is going to be forced to kind of sit in the pocket and throw, I don't think that works in his favor. Not that it does really for Fields either, but I don't know. I'm still gonna roll with Fields. Fuck it. Fuck it. Jackson said at the flex, Monty Watson or Miles Sanders. Monty, I think. Watson's tough to not play there, but yeah, I still like Monty for all the reasons we talked about a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning that way as well. Um, it'll be tough if you sit Watson and he has 4 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown or two. So that's going to be tough. But I do think teams are going to start, rolling coverage his way a little bit more now. So they're definitely going to take notice of what he's been up to. Watson's the highest upside guy here, but Monty is the safest bet just in terms of, as we talked about before, volume alone. No Herbert had a really good game against the Packers in week 2. So, and then also, like you said, Blanc, you like him in the passing game. So, this is kind of Monty, just as we talk about on sheer volume alone.
Monty could get the same amount of targets as Watson this week. Who knows?
Yeah, it's highly possible. But Watson can do a lot more with those targets.
No, he can, but yeah, but Monty is most likely going to see 20 touches at least.
Yep, yep.
Most
I
likely.
agree.
It's
I agree.
possible he doesn't, but Patrick said that's next week. Oh, that game where is it? My bad. The game that I was Chargers versus Miami was moved to prime time. Yeah, I don't remember what exactly it was. Something was moved to prime time, and then Denver was pulled out. I heard or something like that.
Good.
I could be
That's a
wrong.
good option either way.
Let me know what exactly it was, Patrick. Who got pulled out of the prime time? I'm pretty sure it was Denver, but let me know if I'm wrong. Delusional, what is up, my guy? Had that must-win dynasty matchup last week. I told you about. Okay, your team smashed with Lamar, T. Law, Higgins, CD, Metcalf,
Higgins.
and White. Okay, beautiful.
Yep.
Lost that evening because of Josh Jacobs.
Oh, yeah, that's brutal.
Shit, that hurts. Delusional. So
I
where
I
does
could.
that? Damn, that hurts.
I think he
Where
was.
does
I think he said he was 6-6. I believe, if I remember correctly.
where does that put you now? Are you still in the playoff hunt? Are you totally out now? Do you still have a chance? What's going on, brother?
Yeah,
Look at the
that
Broncos injury report, though. Yeah, I
they
haven't looked at
stink
the
no matter
Broncos
what.
injury report, but
They
even
stink
still,
even with everybody.
yeah, half the damn defense is out. Okay, I mean, listen, you could go with either one. The fact is that Fields has played better when healthy, um, and they're both not healthy. So, I guess pick and choose what you pick your poison. I guess what's the word? Isn't that the saying? Pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your poison. But to be fair, I mean, there's kind of nobody that feels has literally nobody to throw the ball to. So I can see why you'd want to go with Lamar this week. Pick two: Zay Jones, Jeff Wilson, and Najee for my last flex spot. Pick
Zay
two.
Jones is out.
Yeah, I'll go with Wilson and Najee. I know Zay Jones had like the game of his life, but I don't know so
You
much that
can't
happens.
bank on that and chase points.
Let's roll with the two starters that are going to get plenty of touches. And
Well,
Jeff.
hang on. I'm
I
looking
mean,
at
even though Mostert is back, Zay Jones has been solid though. He hasn't been bad, so he has been pretty solid. But
the thing I don't like about Zay Jones is the
they are against
competition
the
he
line.
has for targets. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
there's a lot of competition there. Christian Kirk, still Marvin Jones there, Evan Ingram for whatever that's worth. ETN is going to play. You know, I think Zay Jones going off like that, you know, obviously is a little bit of a product of ETN missing most of that game. And then obviously the game script. They were down and had to come back. So, you know, I think that was a big product of that. Now, this could be a shootout as well against Detroit. So I think, man.
it's pick one actually. It's pick one. Didn't mean to say pick two. It's pick one.
Oh, wow.
Wilson or Najee then. Yeah, if we got to pick one, I'm probably not gonna pick.
I'm probably picking Najee.
Yeah, I mean, just watch. I guess the reports make sure Najee is gonna
If
play.
he's
He said he is.
healthy.
He
Yeah.
said he is gonna play. Um, and Jeff Wilson. I mean, Mostert is back, but does Jeff Wilson get that work? It's close between Wilson and Najee, but I think you can pretty much guarantee Najee's workload. Jeff Wilson, you can. There's a little bit less of a chance you can kind of guarantee that if Mostert comes back. But again, you got to keep an eye on both because if Mostert winds up not playing or something happens before the game or something, then it's
Yep.
Jeff Wilson. So you kind of got to look at both. Yeah, I saw that. Delusional. I know he's off the injury report now. We had a couple did not practices, so that's what I'm saying. Just keep on looking at it throughout, tomorrow and Sunday because, like we've seen a couple times this year, people have been flaring shit up right before the game in warm ups. So
Yeah. Josh Jacobs, Josh Jacobs was out for that last little portion of the fourth quarter with the calf, and I thought he was going to be out for the game. And then obviously he came back and did what he did. But, you know, that's obviously something you got to monitor similarly.
yeah, delusional said he's 6-6 now. I'm in seventh, a game back. That's
Yeah.
fine.
So you're right
Still have
there.
a chance, but got to win out. Yeah, I mean, if you're a game back, do you have the points at least, or do you not? Like, is it a real one game back, or is it like actually two? Finished the playoff berth last week. Good shit, Patrick. Patrick, are you in? How many leagues are you in? Are you just in one league, Patrick? I don't remember. Patrick says he's the third seed going into our last week of the season. 6 point lead on points. That GM of the year. Yeah, that's right. GM of the year. If you
Mm-hmm.
win, okay, the most points.
You
So
score
that's
the
good.
most points. Yeah.
Hopefully,
You get the
hopefully you
150.
do. Yeah, hopefully you do get that. Good luck on that, Patrick. I need that money. Yeah, we could all use a
Hell yeah.
little bit of money here and there. Definitely, definitely. All right. So we talked about the Broncos and the Ravens. All right, Browns Texans. Deshaun's first game back. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have let me say this the right way. We're gonna have 10 of the girls that tried to, or did actually
Allegedly.
allegedly or whatever happened. Who the fuck knows? There's gonna be 10 of them chicks.
10 of
Okay,
the accusers.
there's
Yes.
gonna be 10 of these chicks at the damn game in a suite to watch Deshaun Watson talking about we're still here. Like, what the
I
fuck?
don't I don't see what the
I don't know.
I don't see what the thinking is behind that.
I don't know. But again, could be an emotional game. I mean, obviously, a lot of Browns fans they're gonna be pissed. Uh, who knows what exactly is gonna happen? Are you starting Watson this week? If you don't have to, I wouldn't. I don't know if I want to take that chance, especially if you're in like a must-win kind of game. I mean, but on the other hand, he was a great quarterback. I mean, how bad can he actually do? But again, he hasn't played in what 2 years or so, whatever the case is. So it's tough on whether you should actually play him or not. I think you're still going to play Amari Cooper regardless.
Oh yeah.
Chubb will still do his thing. Texans just haven't been good at all. Brandon Cooks actually ruled out. So Collins is the man. We'll see what he
For
does
whatever that's worth.
if he can put up anything. But I think he's had like 10 targets and 9 targets the past 2 weeks. So I mean, I don't know. Other than that, I mean, even Damian Pierce has been unplayable the last 2 weeks. Like he's done absolutely nothing. So hopefully they can keep this game a little bit close and they can use Pierce, their best player, and run the ball a little bit. But yeah, what do you think about this game, Hammer?
Yeah, this feels like, and we talked about this last week with Deshaun coming back. And just to follow up on that point, what are your other options? We have people that have Tom Brady on their team. We have people that have Russell Wilson on their team. If those are your other options, then maybe hey, you roll with Deshaun Watson. We have Bagalot in our Dynasty League has Tom Brady on his team, and he's playing Deshaun Watson now. He's been gun ho about Deshaun Watson since he drafted him last year. But yeah, so it really depends on what your other options are. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fairly emotional game for Deshaun, and I expect the Cleveland Browns to win just because the Texans are so bad. But as we said before, you can't really measure emotion and the emotion of a game. Especially for a guy that hasn't played for 2 years, considering the circumstances. Um, but yeah, I expect the Browns to win here.
Yeah. And listen, we're not saying that Watson can't just throw for 3, 4, 5 touchdowns on Sunday. He definitely can, but you're just kind of playing the chances and rather him, be on the bench and do that than be in and do jack shit. But again, how bad can he possibly be? Patrick says he's excited for this game. With all due respect, fuck them. Can we let this legal shit just be done? I think it is all
Well,
done.
it's Deshaun's doing. You know what I mean? It's not like anything other than that. It was Deshaun's doing. So the legal stuff has to work itself out. I think it's pretty much all wrapped up except for one person, one other case. But it's Deshaun's doing, and he has to face the music. And now that he's back, fully back, he's got to face the music. So I think as long as he plays fairly well and they win some games here, I think it won't be as big a deal maybe as everybody is
No.
making it to be, looking forward to the game and how big of a deal it is. But I just think that the Browns will win just because they're better.
Yeah, I mean, going into next year, it'll be all done, and nobody's even going to be, really thinking about it at that point.
I don't know, to be honest with you, because remember the Michael Vick thing that kind of went on for a while. It did die down, but it kind of went on for a little while.
It will. I mean, it's all going to be on his play. If he just shuts them up and is playing well, I mean, it is what it is.
Agreed.
Jackson said, any spreads y'all like? Yes, Jackson, we literally just recorded a video right before we hopped on live, and I am going to put that out for tomorrow morning. So I'll set it out. I'll probably just put it on like 9 a.m. and it will just boom pop up there for you. So Jackson, you can check that ish out tomorrow. Hammer's got what kind of spreads that he likes. And then I've got, I think, 10 underdog picks that I put in there as well. And if none of that works for you, just fucking ask us tomorrow night. We on Sunday morning as well. So whatever other questions you got, we got you. I got him, and we had such a chance to get along this show.
I don't think I said anything. I picked the Browns.
Gun shaming Watson. He was found not guilty in criminal court. Doesn't matter.
I
It's just
I
the fact that
agree.
he put himself in that position, and
Exactly. I'm
and
not
what the fan base thinks and all and the rest of the world.
right.
We
Right.
know. I mean, we've seen some of the messages where the girl was saying like, "Bro, I give the best head." Blah 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 blah. Like I've seen though. We've seen that. So it's there. It's possible, really. Maybe he really didn't do anything wrong, but the fact that he's just in that position and in that limelight, same thing. I don't. I hate to bring up, Kobe's situation, but he was just the same kind of thing. You just put yourself in that position where, you're not necessarily doing anything wrong, but women can say absolutely anything and just fucking ruin your shit. So
Right. And to be honest with you, Patrick, I'm not sitting here trying to, convict him in a court of public opinion. I'm just sitting here saying the situation is what it is and he's has to deal with it regardless whether he was guilty, not guilty, whatever the case may be. Obviously, they didn't bring any criminal charges against him, but it's still a situation that he has to deal with. He still has to speak to the media. He still has to go into these, hostile environments and deal with it. So, we're just saying it from that standpoint. We're not shaming him for anything. We're just saying the situation is what it is. We're not taking one side or the other. We're just saying what the reality is and how
yeah,
that
it doesn't.
that factors in to how he plays, or how well that team plays as well. So that's the only standpoint we're taking.
It doesn't matter really what we think. It's just how the world is going to perceive it, just like they did with, like you said, with Michael Vick. He's actually got a documentary that's supposed to come out. I'm interested to kind of watch that. But yeah, uh, Patrick said this was the Texans. This whole fucking thing was orchestrated by the Texans.
That's
Okay,
actually
Jeff, I
interesting.
can agree. I can agree with that. Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
That's
What were you?
actually interesting because when this first thing came out, um, Bagala's a conspiracy theorist, and he kind of alluded to the same situation where Deshaun wanted out of Houston, and the owner kind of sabotaged him. That's kind of what Bagala's thinking was. And listen, that's not out of the realm of possibility because these are billionaire, white owners. Let's just say it for what it is. And he probably didn't like the fact that his franchise quarterback, who was probably going to keep his team relevant, wanted out. So I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility, but like I said, we're just saying the situation is what it is, and we're just trying to analyze it and how it affects, fantasy football and everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah. Yep, yep. All right. Moving on from that, we've got Seattle at the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams are toast.
Host, no Cup, no
Stafford,
Stafford, no
no
Allen
nothing,
Robinson.
no
So
nothing.
they've got literally nothing. There is nobody startable on the Rams. I'm actually starting the Perkins dude in one of my super flex leagues as super flex, obviously, but that's the only reason why he's playing. But yeah, other than Superflex, there's literally nobody on the Rams that you can play. Seahawks, on the other hand, maybe Kenneth Walker gets back on track here, hopefully.
Still scored 2 touchdowns last week, so I'll take it.
But as far as rushing yardage, but yeah, scored the TDs. Gino obviously still solid. DK, Lockett.
Yep.
Nothing else really in that game. Fairly simple. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks, of course. I'm guessing you will as well.
Yep.
Uh, Actually says, "Fuck that wine order. You don't trade D Hop." Yeah, well,
Agreed.
I think there was a lot more. Like he said something to D Hop one day, and it just turned into shit from there.
Even even even
He didn't do
remember
enough for D
remember
Hop. He got shit for D Hop. That was a fucking horrible trade. Horrible
Yeah.
fucking
What do you
trade.
get? David Johnson? Like what was that? And even remember, so Patrick's onto something there in terms of, because remember when JJ Watt left, he had some not so good things to say about that culture and that environment and that entire organization. So it's not just, D Hop or Deshaun, JJ Watt, a prominent white, superstar. Obviously, he's not that anymore, but at the time, he was the dude, the defensive dude. And it was like a mass exodus of all their great players. So, there's something wrong in that organization from top to bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick said he'll move on. Good combo. Yeah, definitely, Patrick. Jackson for the two people in this Hammer Browns Browns money line ML. The
Mm-hmm.
fact, yeah, okay.
The masseuse
You
master.
like that? The fact that the masseuse master has all the people that gave him tuggies there at the game against his ex team Browns by 1 million. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think anybody really expected Texas to win anyway, but Like we said,
Crazier things have
good,
happened.
maybe could be good, or it could be bad. So it is what it is. MJ, what up, my guy? DK's question, DKS question, was it DraftKings? I'm stacking Joe Burrow with Chase. That's never that bad of an option. And Kelsey, thoughts? Can you just
I
stack Holmes and Kelsey?
Yeah, he did. I remember this one. Yeah, he did.
Can you
The
just
one,
stack Holmes and Kelsey? I don't know. But yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
the one trepidation I have with this, and I think I was talking with Bagala about this. I think we're all excited to get Chase back, especially if obviously if you're a Chase owner. But there should be some realistic expectations. They were talking about, a pitch count sort of thing going on. So don't think just because Chase is back that he's going to go back to his 8 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdown self, which he was in the previous 2 games before he got hurt. So just, have modest expectations for Chase coming back. I don't think he turns into that superstar guy right away from a production standpoint. I still think T. Higgins is really the guy to have if you take anybody. So maybe stack Burrow with a T. Higgins if you can. And T. Higgins will probably cost you a little bit less than Chase anyway.
MJ said he guaranteed nobody can stop him in an interview today. Go watch. Chase said, guarantee I go off. Nobody off the Chiefs. Yeah, I know he was going back and forth on what was it, on Twitter with somebody, right? Um,
Which which is
and I
what
forgot
he's
who posted it.
which is what he's supposed to do. But I think that entire coaching staff and that organization don't want to see him go out there and get hurt again. He's coming off a serious injury, obviously. That kept him out for the past 5-6 weeks at this point. So I don't think they're in a hurry to rush him back and just rev up the engines and fire away as if nothing happened. So I do like, if you want to stack, I do like T. Higgins as a little bit of a safer stack this particular week.
Yeah, so the him and Justin Reed were going at it. Um, Jamar said, "Let's put money on it." And hold up. Yeah, Lamar said, "God damn it, Lamar." Hold on, I got it here somewhere. Jamar said, "Yeah, let's put money on it big time." Justin Reed says, Y'all welcome for the extra motivation. I'm gonna see you Sunday, champ." And Jamar called him tuna in a can and put the little cat face.
That's the first time I ever heard somebody get called tuna in a can. That's gold.
Bro, I was fucking rolling. Motherfucker said tuna in a can. Justin Reed said noted.
That's awesome.
That is hilarious. Give him a score. MJ said give him a score. Chiefs 40-34. Yeah, yeah, it's actually close. I'd probably say like 34-31. I kind of like that. Um,
But remember,
bro,
remember,
tuna in a can is hilarious, bro.
yeah, that's gold. But remember,
With the little cat face at the end too, bro. Go ahead, Hammer.
last year in the regular season, Joe Burrow outdueled Mahomes in that regular season matchup late in the year.
Yeah.
So Joe Burrow has proven he can go toe to, and he beat him in the playoffs.
Chase won for almost 300, I think, last
Right?
year. So
Yes.
I know,
Yes.
I know.
And they beat them in the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl. So Joe Burrow is not afraid of looking Patrick Mahomes in the eye and going toe to toe with him. And he's going to have his full complement for the most part. We're not sure about Mixon just yet. It looks like Chase is definitely going to play. So yeah, so I would not discount the Bengals winning this game, and the Bengals are at home.
Yeah. Reese, what up, Reese? Chase or Walker, Hammer? That he needs a flex. What do we got? Need a flex. Chase or Walker?
This is a really tough one, dude. Honestly, because I just don't know how much Jamar Chase is going to play. I don't know if he's going to be full tilt. I don't know. I'm going to say Kenneth Walker here just because of volume, and they're playing a terrible Rams team, as we talked about. So I expect Kenneth Walker to have a really big game. I'm going to go Kenneth Walker, but listen, Chase can go for 120. You know what I mean? But we don't know. You know what I mean? And that's the tough part.
Even with limited touches, though, he can still, you know.
I hear you, but
Think
Kenneth
if Chase
Walker,
plays, I think you got to go with Chase. But Walker is it's close, man. You gotta pick and
and
choose what you like.
it's a good
But again,
matchup for Walker.
keep an eye on the news. Make sure going into the game that they're all right. Jackson said, if Mixon plays, do I start him? Yeah, I think you
I
got
think you have to. Yeah.
Um, Chase went 11 for 200. Yeah, that's what I was saying last year. I know. It's hard to, you can't
Mm-hmm.
not, it's hard to not go with Chase if he's going to play. He's one of those guys that if he plays, you pretty much have to play him 35-28. Yeah. Patrick, that's kind of around what I have. I think I said 34-31. I don't even remember. But yeah, there's definitely, I see something like that for the score. Definitely. MJ, do I stack up on Detroit versus Jacksonville or Atlanta versus Pitt?
I think that Detroit Jacksonville game has a chance to be a lot higher scoring than Atlanta versus Pittsburgh. So, and there's some really good offensive players in that Detroit and Jacksonville game. So I'd lean that way for more offensive production.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. I definitely go that way. T. Lawrence versus Detroit or Derek Carr versus the LA.
I think I'm going Lawrence here.
Going Lawrence too, he'll be hot. Who do you want to stack up? I mean, there's not much really to stack. You got Amon Ra, of course. Um, Amon Ra, I'll take all day. So yeah, I do Amon Ra. If you've got to pick one for the Lions, definitely. And I'd pick Kirk if you got to do one
Mm-hmm.
for the Jags, for sure. Definitely those, MJ. My bad if we didn't specify before. But yeah, Jamal Williams. I mean, he's been a top 10 back, but I'd prefer if you had to choose between one or the other, I'd prefer the Amon Ra stack ahead of the Jamal Williams. What do you think about that, Hammer?
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's just like you said, we keep saying the touchdowns, and they keep coming, but it's just so hard to keep banking on every single week. At this point, especially if you can go another route, like you said, if you can go Amon Ra, that's a more bankable commodity at this point than a Jamal Williams.
Yeah. Jamal Williams versus Jacksonville or Patterson versus Pitt in that particular one that he was looking at.
I think I'd take Jamal Williams.
I'll probably take Jamal Williams too. I mean, Patterson is just they're getting split carries now, so it's not been the same for Patterson. Patrick said outside of the conspiracy theories and legal drama, and even outside this year, but for fantasy redraft leagues next year, the Watson Cooper stack is going to be phenomenal. Cooper's a late third.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we agree with that.
I can see that definitely. Patrick, I can definitely agree with that. Reese said Seahawks or Ravens D. Seahawks or Ravens D. I mean, the Broncos just haven't been able to score in general, so the Ravens D is good there. And then again, Rams just have nobody. They have no skill players, so the Seahawks D is not a bad play at all either. Shit, that's tough. Ravens are at home though. Seattle is away. I guess let's just roll with the Seahawks, just because the Rams have absolutely nobody on the team. I don't know. I'm just gonna roll with that. They've got no skill players. But what do you think, Hammer?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the fact that the Broncos are still rolling out Russell Wilson, we obviously know he's trash, and that whole team has been trash this year. But listen, the Rams have nobody. I can't name a single offensive skill player, on that team this week. Skoranek, maybe, I don't know. That's the only guy I really know from watching him. Tutu Atwell, let's go Tutu. But yeah, I'll lean Seahawks here.
Yeah, yeah, we can agree on that. Patrick's. Wait, let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. No. All right. Patrick said early fourth pick at best. Yeah. Watson will slide. Probably bring around 6 or 7. Yeah, it just depends on the league and the way the point system's set up. Watson Joku stack will be such a great value just because of how low down draft boards they will fall. Yeah, I mean, Joku's been solid. I mean, Watson, I mean, he's never really been known to just heavily target, a tight end, but obviously Joku can play, and he's pretty much the second option other than Cooper. I mean, you can argue Peoples Jones, I guess, but what do you think about this, Hammer?
To be honest with you, I don't. And we talked about this too. Unless it's Kelsey to Mahomes to Kelsey, or the Mark Andrews connection, I'm not really crazy about stacking a tight end. Like, that's not my goal. Njoku is a really good tight end, but he's been getting banged up. He's got a little bit of history of getting banged up too. So, you know, is he a good value at the end of your draft? Absolutely. But I'm not going out there seeking to draft him if I have Deshaun Watson. I would look at the Amari Cooper stack, obviously, which makes more sense. Peoples Jones to a lesser degree if you have him. But yeah, I think Deshaun Watson will be, a top 5 quarterback next year because he'll have a full off season. He'll be with his guys. They'll have, they're pretty much their skill players intact. So there's no argument here that Deshaun Watson is going to be really good going forward.
Yeah, bro. MJ said breaking news getting offered Patrick Mahomes and Devontae Adams for Jalen Hurts, T. Higgins, and Jeff Wilson. I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't.
I don't know if I necessarily like it. Patrick Mahomes is probably the best player in here, but you also get Adams. But I mean, how far off is Hurts and Higgins from that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you also get to keep Jeff Wilson. I don't know if I necessarily like it. And I know Jeff Wilson probably might not mean anything to you. Running backs are Monty Pierce and Michael Carter. No, you're gonna need Jeff Wilson. You also have Latavius Murray. QB is Burrow. Wide receivers are Amon Ra, McLaurin, Wilson, and Watson. I mean, you got plenty of QBs. There's no reason for you to don't get Mahomes. You got Burrow as your QB2 is Burrow. Is this a 2 QB league or super flex? MJ wide receivers: Amon Ra, Terry, Garrett Wilson, and Watson. I think I like where you're at. I don't think I like making the trade for Mahomes and Adams. I don't think it makes you any better than what you are. I'd rather just keep the depth with Wilson because it's not like you've got some great running backs after. Pierce just hasn't been that good lately. Super flex, yeah, okay. Yeah, what do you think, Hammer?
Yeah, I think I might stay on the Jalen Hurts, T. Higgins, Wilson side of this, just because what's the real drop off between the combination of Hurts and Higgins versus Mahomes and Adams? I think Mahomes and Adams, are what they are, but I don't know, man. But the Jeff Wilson thing, that's tough. I I think I would stay with Hurts, Higgins, and Wilson, and you have Burrow there as
Yeah,
your QB2.
yeah, you think I like it how you are. I don't think that makes you much better. Patrick Mahomes' schedule is terrible. You mean in a good
I,
way or not good? I don't think any defense or any team doesn't matter
no, that doesn't
for
matter.
Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, the guy is MVP level. I think, 29 touchdowns so far. How many more
Yeah,
games
when
left? On pace for whatever,
six,
40 something
five,
touchdowns.
six,
So,
5 games left.
yeah. So, on pace for whatever 45 touchdowns or some shit. He's got a tough schedule. Yeah, it just doesn't matter for the Chiefs. What that means is that Mahomes is going to get a chance to throw the ball even more. So not easy matchups. Yeah, I don't think it matters. So I mean, that's another. If you feel that way, that's another reason for you to not make that trade. Um, you know, that just gives you more reason to not make that trade. For me, that doesn't really have anything to do with the trade. I don't really care about it, but
Especially when you're talking about high level guys like this, the matchup doesn't matter.
But yeah, I think I like with what you have there. I wouldn't go and do that trade. Bottom line. Patrick says he's talking more of a Cleveland stack because of how low Watson will fall. I agree with you, Hammer. Of course, I want the Cooper Watson stack. I was just speaking in general. Yeah, we feel you. I feel you on that, Patrick. Excited over the potential of the first time of a stack since Derek Anderson, Josh Gordon. Oh God.
I'm gonna hold it in because I want the show to continue on a
Uh,
nice
you
pace.
know, I kind of feel bad for the whole Josh Gordon thing, especially nowadays where, it's so much more decriminalized and I mean, they still test for
Hmm.
it, but I think you can have a lot more in your system. I think the level that can be in your system is a lot way more than what it used to be. For you to actually get in trouble for it. So I kind of it sucks that we got to miss out on prime Josh Gordon years all because of all because of some weed. So
Because he was awesome when he played.
yeah,
He was
he was
awesome.
yeah. Lucius, what up, Lucius? Evening, guys. Would you start Hurst or Komet for this week? Well,
Hurst.
Hurst has got the better offense. They're going a pretty good matchup. I get they're going against the Chiefs, so it could be a nice little high scoring game. Komet, on the other hand, obviously not a great offense. You're banking on touchdowns, of course, and yeah, we don't know. I mean, you could say look at the bright side and say, oh no, Mooney, so maybe Komet is going to get more work, and he might, but Hurst has just been the more all around better player so far this year, so I'm going to go with Hurst as well. You think I should make a trade? I'm 8-4 in fourth place. I need to make a move to get up. I mean, your team isn't bad, but
I mean, you got to 8-4 for a reason.
exactly. What should I do? I'm being offered Jalen Waddle and T Law for Burrow and McLaurin. I don't know if you want to lose Burrow though. I mean, I know T Law's been solid, but yeah, Waddle's been a beast.
Who's the best player
And
here? Is it Waddle
it's
or is it Burrow?
it's a super flex, so it's going to be Burrow. Um, can you just take the QBs out of it maybe and do something else instead of trading the QBs? I know you might be losing a little bit at wide receiver because you've got who Terry, but go back. You've got Amon Ra, Terry, and Garrett Wilson and Christian Watson. I mean, I'm okay with rolling that out there. You've got Monty Pierce, Carter and Jeff Wilson. You've got Hertz and Burrow. I mean, yeah, there's a reason why you're 8-4. I don't think any of these guys or moves that you're trying to make makes your team substantially better to the point where it's like, oh, you're definitely going to win the ship now. So for me, it's just it doesn't move the needle enough, as Hammer loves to say,
That's what it's about,
for
right?
for you to actually make that trade. You countered. What did you counter, MJ? Let us know what you countered there. I'd love to know what you countered. Hold what in, Hammer? Let it rip. After Hammer rearranges his panties, I do have a question.
All right, hold on. Let me rearrange real quick. I actually wear boxer briefs, so just in case you were wondering.
Oh man, I agree with y'all. I agree with the statement. Worry about my team and getting wins, but I also believe in not being an idiot if opportunities present itself. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that was regarding, but I don't remember. Patrick.
I think it was that whole thing about losing games on purpose to kind of change your seating. Was that it? Remember
Oh,
that
well,
discussion we had?
that was like last week. That wasn't now though.
Yeah, but I'm just
Um,
saying that's the only thing I could
oh,
think
well,
of. That
unless that is, yeah, it could be. It could be. But yeah, I mean, whenever there's bread involved, you want to try and do anything you can to tip the scales in your favor. So I'm not I don't hate on it. It's just too much for me to think about and do all that. But again, I play in a bunch of leagues where it's a little bit different. Where if you're only playing one or two, it's a lot more. You're a lot more inclined, or a lot more important for you to try and win those leagues at any any means possible. Um, let's move on to this next one. Check this out. Yeah, whatever. Patrick, go ahead, write it in there. We'll get to it. We'll get to it in a second. New one. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. But all right, we went to Rams and Seahawks. All right, Dolphins Niners, good game.
Hmm.
Real good game. Not sure if Deebo's gonna play. So that's going to be interesting to watch and see. CMC is okay. He's saying that he is going to play. So it looks like he is a-okay. No Elijah Mitchell, of course. So CMC will probably get some good work. But yeah, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, this is one of those games where I'm taking the Dolphins here, on the road, underdog. There's still, as I touched on in the point spreads and the betting lines. I like the Dolphins here, man. I think they're just playing better. I think San Francisco will be, one of those NFC contenders at the end of the season, but Miami's already proved they're a contender, and they're kind of a well-oiled machine right now. So I like Miami here. All the usual suspects are playing: Tua, Waddle, Tyreek Hill. You can even stream Gasecki if you're desperate for a tight end. Jeff Wilson. I'm playing Jeff Wilson in certain situations. Mostert maybe if you're desperate at RB. But yeah, I like Miami here.
Hmm. Yeah, I got Miami as well. Like we mentioned before, Mostert looks like he's coming back. Um, but yeah, I got the Dolphins here. Tua's looking solid. MJ says he countered Waddle, Pacheco, and McLaurin. Michael Carter Murray, he countered and said Jay Waddle, Pacheco, and Slayton for Scary Terry Carter and Thielen. He wants a second and a third. All right, is this Dynasty? Let us know if this is Dynasty.
That's,
It
I
sounds
would
like you're saying
imagine.
it's Dynasty now. And if you're gonna get Jalen Waddle for that, then absolutely hit smash right now. Don't even think twice about it. You want Jalen Waddle. You're giving up McLaurin. I mean, Michael Carter doesn't mean much. Latavius Murray is nothing really after this year. Um, Adam Thielen, same thing. So yeah, absolutely, I'll take Waddle and Pacheco over McLaurin and those other guys. Dynasty, yeah, absolutely hit smash, bro. Right now, right now. Don't even think twice. Go get Jalen Waddle. That's an easy. You're just switching out McLaurin for Jalen Waddle. You definitely need Jalen Waddle. He wants a second and a third.
Oof.
And that's a
I think
little tough.
I would give one or the other. I wouldn't give
Yeah,
both.
I probably wouldn't give both either. I probably see if he'll take the third or the second. I wouldn't. I would try not to give both either. Give one or the other. But even still, I don't mind doing that. Waddle is going to be
Terrific for
so much
years.
better than what Terry is, and he's a lot younger too. So
And
yeah,
he's in a better offense.
yeah. Yeah, see if you can do one or the other, MJ. I would try not. He said blow me. I won it first. I thought you said he countered with a second and third, or he wanted. I thought fuck it. Give him the second and third. Then this way you can keep the first. If
Yeah,
that's
I
the
would agree.
choice, give him the second or third, or just give him the second or third. Because if you can get Jalen Waddle, just go get him. He'd be trolling. Yeah. So I don't know if I give up the first.
If I do give up the first, I'm keeping some of those other players. Like I'm scaling back how many other players I'm giving up.
I
I mean,
mean, even
Waddle's
the
a
older
haul, bro.
players, the older
Waddle.
players, yeah, the older players aren't don't really mean much anyway. So like the Carter and Thielen, like I don't mind it. I guess it's not even that bad. If it's a late first, it
He's
depends
eight
where
and
that first is,
he
bro. I
said he's
mean,
8-4, right? Or is that
yeah,
the
is it your first that he wants that you have to give up, or do you have other firsts? Do you have multiple firsts? Because all this kind of matters in there. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if you had to give up a late first. I'd just do it almost straight up. If you could do a late first and Terry, just for Waddle straight up.
mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's worth it.
If you can get Pacheco too by throwing in, Carter or Thielen, then that's fine. I don't believe Pacheco is the guy for the future. Let me throw that in there now, but he is going to be good for the rest of this year, possibly next year, depending what they do in the draft and if they sign any free agents. So Caddy, what up, my guy? Caddy in the building. MJ, tell him to go fuck himself. No, but you do want Waddle, so you don't want to create bad blood. Especially if
Yeah,
this guy's about to give you
offering.
Waddle.
Yep.
Try and negotiate it like we're saying. Try and cut out the rest. If it's a late first, I have no problem giving him the late first to go get Waddle. Um, but if you want Pacheco too, and you got to throw in the other guys, like that's fine. But you're not going to go for first, second, and third. I'd rather give up the second and third and keep the first. But if he desperately wants the first, then I guess you got to go that way. But yeah, I don't mind it. Hey, I see a haircut. Yeah, it was no shave November, so I kind of let everything just fucking grow, including the beard. But I got that all fixed up. I had a little interview type thing today, so I had to look decent. Had to look decent. Manscaped the nutsack and all that too. So
That's
I
information we
gotta
could
get
have
I
lived
gotta get
without.
one of the Manscaped things. Everybody's on the Manscaped ad things. I've got to see how we can get on that. This way, people can get their 20% off. MJ said he counters Scary Terry and Kenneth Walker for Amon Ra. You're not
No,
giving up
no.
Amon. Wait, hold on. Scary Terry and Kenneth
He's
Walker.
getting Amon-Ra, Thielen, and
Give up Scary Terry and Kenneth Walker. You get Amon Ra. Wait, I thought you have Thielen and Carter. Or am I bugging and am I reading this shit wrong? MJ, fuck, man. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, he said Waddle, Pacheco, and Slayton for Scary. Yeah, Scary Terry's on your team. So you've got to give up Terry and Walker, and you get. I thought I'm confused, bro. I typed it wrong. All right, type in one chat thing the whole trade. It's all good, MJ. He said he's drunk. Listen, just type in the whole trade in once in there, and then we'll let you know. I mean, I love if you can get no, you have Amon Ra, I think, right? Did he say he had Amon Ra at first? Hold on.
I don't remember. There was a lot of players being shifted
Hold on,
around.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Yeah, he's got Amon Ra. So yeah, we're not giving up Amon Ra for anything. We're not doing that. If you can give up, you got Garrett Wilson and Christian Watson. So you've got a nice squad. But yeah, if you can come off with Terry and get Waddle somehow, absolutely give up the first.
Terry in a first for Waddle.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely worth what he's worth. If you gotta give up Carter or Thielen, fucking throw that shit in there too. That's fine. Because they're nothing. My bad. I lost track of where I was. All right, here we go. Um, Patrick says, I don't know who the sixth seed is going to be yet, but point being, Fields is available. Should I clear a spot on my bench just for the playoff teams with extreme question marks at QB? Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Yeah, listen, I have
Look,
no issue, and I think Patrick had typed it in terms of picking up other players so the other team doesn't have them. Yeah, I'm good with that.
yeah, no, that
100%.
that yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
That's a
we
smart move.
subscribe to that.
If they're even questionable at QB, whoever those teams have, why Fields isn't on one of those teams, I don't know. Simp, what up, my guys? Simp, what up, fellas? Down Joku and Mike Williams. Yeah, it's tough. Got to roll with Monroe and Burks this week.
I
Man,
mean,
good luck.
Burks isn't a bad option.
Burks is not a horrible option. You got to hope he gets in the end zone though. But Caddy said trade Hollywood for Pollard.
I don't think so.
Not necessarily. As long as Zeke's healthy, it's going to be tough for Pollard to give you solid production like every single week. He's going to have some weeks where he goes off, but he's just capped with Zeke there, especially in the
Hmm.
touchdown department where Zeke is just getting all those goal line carries. And Hollywood, I mean, even though he didn't have a great game, still led the team in targets.
Still
So
active, and they get the
that
bye
was a
week,
big that was a
and
big thing. Where even though he didn't go off, he still led the team in targets,
was very involved. Yep.
which was good to see, especially that D Hop was out there too. So
And also too, Hollywood's coming off they got a bye week this week, so he's going to be healthy down the stretch. So I like Hollywood rest of season more than Tony.
He wants to give you Waddle and Kenneth Walker for Amon Ra, Scary Terry, Michael Carter, St.
No,
Brown. It's
no,
just a
can't.
lot, especially in the state
Uh,
of your team as far as the wide receiver position, where you have some guys that need to grow a little bit. Um, I don't know if taking on Kenneth Walker is the right thing to do, even though he is a nice young guy. You've got Monty and you've got Pierce. See, I don't want to give up Amon Ra. I do want Waddle.
so maybe MJ, what you could do is just take Kenneth Walker out of there and just trade maybe Terry Carter in a first for Waddle.
Yeah, if you can do Terry Carter in the first for Waddle, even if you got to throw in Thielen, that's fine. Go get Waddle.
So at least by taking Walker out of there, you can keep Amon Ra.
You're 8-4, so you're making a push for the ship. After this season is over, I would get rid of Monty and I would get rid of Pierce. Cash in on either some picks or some young talent, if you can. If you can do that, because I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that RB room, and if you can cash out while the value's still high, you know, in the off season afterwards, that'll be good for you. There's some good
Mm-hmm.
RBs coming out in the draft, so if you can move off of some of these guys and grab a pick and something else, that'll be money in the bank for you. Let's get back to where was that? Diesel, what up, Diesel? I only have 123 first. It's better than none, bro. It's better than none. Is it your first? That's actually a good one. I want to trade it for Marquise Brown. I'm competing and at 9-3, 12 team super flex. If you're 9-3, is it your first? I mean, if it's a late first, I mean,
That's not a bad route to take
it's not a bad route to take because you
because Hollywood
could probably get a late first for him back if you wanted to trade him in the offseason.
and
So
I think Hollywood has a really good upside for the rest of the season. So
yeah,
I
I
don't
do
mind
like
that at all.
yeah, I do like him for the rest of the season as well, going into the playoffs. So yeah, I would go and get him now and then worry about getting your first back after. Because like I said, you could probably sell Marquise Brown for a late first, anyway, after the season. So if you did want it back, you can try and get it back by doing that. So if you don't want to keep him. If you want to keep him, then that's fine. But all right, you got T. Higgins, you got Waddle, you got St. Brown, you got Pickens, you got Judy. So yeah, Marquise Brown would be a nice little addition to that. It's not your first. It's possibly a mid to late. If it's mid, I probably don't want to give it up. But if it's definitely late, then I would. But if it's mid, especially if super flex, I don't know if I want to pay that. I don't want to pay that for Hollywood. I wouldn't pay that for Hollywood. So that bothers me a little bit. If it's a late first, then I do it. But if it's guaranteed like mid, or if it's possible mid, especially in super flex, that's going to leave you with probably one of the top receivers because the early two running backs are probably going to go. The two QBs are probably going to go. That could leave you in good position to grab one of the top three wide receivers who I'd much rather have than Hollywood. Like I said, unless you can sell Hollywood after, maybe. I don't know. That's tough. God damn. That's tough. Would you do it if it's a mid hammer?
Probably because if I'm making a run, I'm making a run. I could worry about the pick later. You know what I mean? My thought process is if I got a chance to go out there and win a ship, a mid first round pick isn't gonna shouldn't stop me from going out there and winning. You know
But
what I
is
mean?
Mark but is Marquise Brown going to be the difference from you winning a ship or not? That's the part that is
I don't.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think in combination with what he has. yes. Like if he was looking at Hollywood to be his number one or his number two, then no. But he's looking at Hollywood to be a number three, a four, a flex, wide receiver three, four flex kind of option. And that's about as good as it gets from that standpoint. So I'm not going to let a mid first round pick that you could go out and get, like you said, and you have assets on your team to go out and acquire a pick if you want to get back into the first round if you need to. So I'm not saying I'm short sighted when it comes to dynasty and how I look at it and how I approach it. But if I got a chance to win and it's going to cost me a mid to late for Hollywood, who can be a difference maker on a given week, why wouldn't I do that?
I don't know. Just, I mean, you've got some good wide receivers already, so that's why for me, like, I just don't know if I want to spend the mid for now. You know your league better than us. Do you think you can go out and trade Marquise Brown and Judy and go get yourself a first round pick in the next year's draft? Like, if you think you can do that, then yes, I would do it. But if you don't think that you can do that, I'm not really comfortable giving up the mid first because I think you can go and spend something cheaper and get possibly close to the same production that Marquise Brown will give you. So from that point of view, you know, I don't want to spend I don't want to spend it if it's possibly a mid. Um,
Which is understandable from
but I
that.
see the other side as well. Like you're saying, if you want to win and you think that's a difference, then absolutely go and do it. But anyway, that's just my thoughts about it. Diesel, tell me what you thought about it, Diesel. Were you kind of leaning towards doing that? And what do you think now that you've kind of heard me and Hammers and anyone else out there? I mean, let us know. Let us know what y'all think as well. Throw your opinion out there. Caddy says, I don't know how Hollywood got more targets than D Hop. I mean, listen, again, D Hop
Flow of
last
the
year
game, yeah.
he didn't get a ton of targets last year either before he got hurt. He was just scoring touchdowns and he did kind of what he did. You know, he was getting 4 or 5, you know, maybe 6 targets, but adding a touchdown to it. And I think now with Hollywood back, that's kind of what you might start seeing again. It's to be determined. We'll see. But which D should I stash for the playoffs? Week 14 to 17, Giants, KC, Chargers, or Vikings. I mean, can we look at those last games there?
I think you can kind of stream it just regardless, right? I mean, I'm sure those nobody's really rostering more than one defense. Let's take a look. So we'll start with the Giants. Where the hell are they? The fuck are the Giants? Oh, here we go. So the Giants got 14 to 17. Where are we? What week are we in? 13?
Yeah, I mean Vikings ain't that bad. Detroit, Indy, Giants. So Vikings might not be a horrible option. What do you got there for the Giants?
So the Giants, obviously, they got the Commanders this week. Eagles, Commanders again. Vikings, Colts.
I mean, Chargers. No, we're not going with the Chargers. They're just no Miami, Tennessee, Indy. I mean, not great, but they haven't. They've played shit D like all year. So I'm not going with the Chargers. I'm probably definitely not going with the Chiefs because their defense is trash.
But hold on. But the
The Steelers,
Chiefs, but they're but the
bad,
Chiefs
they're bad.
matchups, but the Chiefs matchups, they got obviously the Bengals this week, but then they got Broncos, Texans, Seahawks, Broncos again.
Yeah, I probably like that one then. Honestly, Denver obviously hasn't been scoring. Houston can't really score. Seattle's okay, but then they got the Denver again. So I'd say either the Chargers or the Vikings would be my two options.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I honestly I wouldn't stash a defense per se. To be honest with you, I'm not wasting a roster spot stashing a defense. Um, but that was actually the Chiefs that have the Broncos twice in the next like couple of weeks. In that 14 to 17, they have them twice. But I'm not. I'm just playing the matchup and seeing what I like best on a week to week basis because I'm not rostering two defenses. I'm not doing that.
Let me pull this back up real quick. Simp said, "Y'all think Swift's gonna pop off this week? Keep having to play him and Jay." Well, every week because of the upside, both have got CMC, Swift, and Jay Williams as our running backs, McKinnon and Hasty. That's fine. If those are your options, then you got to roll with that. I mean, it's not like you're going to play McKinnon or Hasty over Swift or Jamal Williams, so
Right.
that's fine. Swift obviously hasn't been great, but still giving you a decent amount of points per game. So
Right.
especially for his touches. Caddy looks like Fields is going to play. Still start Tua. Yeah, I'd still start Tua. I think just as a precaution, definitely. Patrick said, "This is my squad. Remember, I want to clear room for Fields, and I also need a tight end for this week. I got Hurts, Najee, Mixon, Singletary, Pacheco, Dobbins, Warren, Carter, Jefferson. Um, could probably drop Carter or Dobbins at this point.
Agreed.
Brown, Gabe, Mike Williams, Joku, Ravens. Yeah, like I said, you could probably drop those Dobbins or Carter at this point. Chiefs and Vikings are solid defenses. Yeah, Patrick.
And the matchups, as we were saying, the Chiefs have the Broncos and the Texans in 3 out of those 4 weeks. They have twice playing the Broncos and once playing the Texans. So that's 3 out of 4 games in that 14 to 17 stretch. So that's an inviting defense if you want to roll with that.
Diesel said, okay, this was from that other question. Who do you think puts out the same production as Hollywood? I'll consider holding, but Pickens is who I have at my fourth flex spot. His production is iffy week to week. I mean, if you can get a veteran, maybe that doesn't cost as much, especially if you're going on the run. Uh, let's
What do you think
see.
about like Michael Pittman?
Yeah, I mean, he's not a veteran, but he's a guy you could probably get for a little bit cheaper. That could help you in the long run, but you might have to give up. Might have to give up a lot. It depends. It depends who's got Michael Pittman. Is he on a losing squad or not? So, I think what you probably want to do, Diesel, is look at some of those losing squads, especially, and see who they have, especially what kind of older players where you can get away with not giving up a ton. I mean, Thielen's been decently solid lately. I mean, that's a guy you can probably get for cheap. DJ Moore hasn't been great. I don't know how much you'd have to give up to get a DJ Moore. And he's not really old, but just a kind of a name to throw out there that hasn't been great. Let's see.
What do you think about
Alan, what
like
about
an
Alan
Alan
Lazard?
Lazard? I was
Yeah,
getting ready to say.
yeah. Alan Lazard could be a decent one. And again, they're not great, every single week, but they're going to cost you a lot less, but still give you at least a decent amount of points. I mean, Cortland Sutton you could probably get for decently cheap as well. I don't think you can get a
Mm,
Godwin. Like I said, Thielen. I don't know what you can get, what you can spend for D Hop. But again, it matters what teams, what GMs have these guys on their team. If they're on a winning team, obviously you're not going to be able to get anybody that's putting up points. So you got to kind of attack those teams that are not. Joshua Palmer maybe could be a cheap option for you to get with Mike Williams out. But let's see who else is on here. I'm just looking through some of these things here. Peoples Jones maybe with Watson back. Uh, Even Nico Collins is not a horrible option for the next couple weeks. I mean, he's at least
mm.
getting targets, but not as good as those other options. I'm still looking through, seeing if I see anything else here.
What do you think about Ayuk?
If you can get Ayuk, yeah. I mean, but again, depends on what team he's on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's going to give up some of these guys if they're on some of these winning squads. So you kind of got to look for those teams that are not winning that want the draft capital for some of these older guys, whether it's a second or a third or a combination with a player as well. But those are some of the names that I would look for. Diesel. But again, you can target a team a lot easier and then kind of try and grab somebody from there. But yeah, let me know what you think about some of those names and who's got those players on some of the teams that you're in, and let me know if that helps. You got Joshua Palmer too. Okay, bro, that's not bad at all. I'd be playing Joshua Palmer in there right now with Mike Williams out. Again, he's going to
Yeah.
be up and down, but for that particular spot, your last flex spot, it's not a Not a horrible option. Pittman on a losing squad. Okay, looking at Amari Cooper. Yeah, there you go. Again, yeah, you know your league better than us, so sometimes it's hard to give you specific players because we don't know exactly what teams have those guys. The guy is going to want a damn first, and I'm not going to do that. He's not going to sell for a second. Listen, Amari's going to give you at least a couple good years, but he's not going to sell for a second. Can you give him a piece and a second, maybe? Can you give him Joshua Palmer in the second and grab Amari Cooper?
I would do that.
He's a young guy. I don't know how people view Joshua Palmer in your league, but obviously Keenan Allen's getting old. Mike Williams can't stay healthy. Josh Palmer's a guy I particularly don't like, but I think he's a good trading piece. Like if you can give him Palmer in a second, I'd do that. Pickens over Palmer.
I just think that Pickens has a more clearer path to fantasy relevance than Palmer at this particular point. So yeah, for that reason, I'm saying Pickens.
Yeah, I mean, and particularly as the fourth flex spot, I kind of don't want to give up that first, unless they're going to be a real kind of difference maker. Pittman is on a losing squad. Yeah. Again, if you can trade the second with somebody, I'll give it a shot and pair Palmer in a second for Cooper or Ayuk. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. I'd much rather do that. I don't see Palmer as a guy that's going to emerge as some star on the Chargers. I think he's going to have, his game, but his games, but I'm fine with that. Trading Palmer in the second, go get Coop or Ayuk. That'd be good. I'd probably prefer Cooper just because of Deshaun Watson and because just in the future. Ayuk, I'm not a huge fan of Ayuk once like Lance comes back. I like him much better with
Hmm.
Jimmy G. What's going to happen with his contract afterwards in the years to come? Obviously, we don't know, but I'd much rather bank on Amari Cooper because not only for this year, but some of the years to come. And if you only got to give up Palmer in a second, that's a fucking
That's a win.
that's a deal right there. That's a deal right there. Anything else you want to say on that, Hammer?
No.
All right. Let me go back here. Hammer, no, Hammer. Patrick, that was his squad. AJ Brown, Gabe Davis. Yeah, we got that already. Chiefs and Vikings. Patrick said Diesel Pickett has a favorable schedule going forward. Yeah, I mean, and again, he's going to be up and down, kind of hit or miss. It's just part of it. I mean, the offense, the team. Yeah, just think better to have it now than racing for it on waivers. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine, Caddy. If you got the room to fit it on your team, then you're good. Outsoul, what up, my guy? It's been a while, brother. What is good?
So good to
I
see you,
have
man.
Deshaun Dotson as well. Damn, bro. What do you guys think of him? Is he a hold, or should I try and use him as a throw-in for a trade?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
absolutely. He's not a hold for me. I don't think you have to hold him. I think he's a good receiver, but if you can get good value for him, absolutely, he can go somewhere. I wouldn't say throw in like just throw him in for nothing. He's still, a young receiver. He had good draft capital and all that, so that does matter. You got to see who in your league kind of would want him. But yeah, I'm okay with giving away Dotson as well. Like I'd hold on to the first and give up, those other dudes. If you could give up the second, if you could give up Dotson, if you can give up Palmer, that's the route that I look to go. I like to try and go younger, younger than Cooper if you could, but it just depends who's available, like I said. So, Simp, what up? Got Higgins, Godwin, and Burks as my wide receivers. Okay, y'all think Rondell Moore worth holding on to for the rest of the season? Not really. I mean, with Brown and D Hop healthy, it's tough. I'd probably hold on to him just in case somebody gets hurt. I mean, unless you've got a better option that you're picking up to drop him for. But I think you're good with Higgins, Godwin, and Burks for now. What do you think, Hammer?
Yeah, I totally agree. And we saw when either one of those guys, you could kind of treat Rondell Moore like Josh Palmer in this situation. You know what I mean? So if you have D Hop or Hollywood, then it's worth rostering Rondell Moore, or maybe see if you can make a trade. If you could come off a Rondell Moore to one of the people that has D Hop or Hollywood, maybe you see if you could do that. But if you have the spots, then yeah, as Blanc said, what are the other options?
Yeah. Old Soul said, "Yes, sir. Doing better. 2-6. Now I'm 6-6. That's what I'm talking about, bro. You see? Tune in, do your thing, make the right
Ah,
move.
shit. It's it's all we take full credit for that 4 game win streak.
No, we don't. I think you did make some moves though. I know you probably ran some moves by us, so hopefully, obviously, they worked out. If you did those, if you didn't listen and you're doing your thing, then great. But
Blanc
Sims,
wants to take full credit,
no, I'm not taking full credit. We
half
would
credit.
we would never do that. We ain't always right. Nobody's always right. So, Simp said Mike Williams is an IR spot right now too. He's in your IR spot. All right.
So that's why it's holding Rondell more, I believe. But
Yeah, so
Rondell, let
just
me.
hold on to him for now. That's fine. I
I
mean,
gotta I gotta
it's not.
check in on Rondell more because I know he's been out. I think he's out this week as well.
He's out this week too. I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
You had Jacobs last week. Yeah.
that's how to get it done. So did
Yeah.
I. I had Jacobs in 2 out of 3 leagues. I went 3-0 regardless in my 3 leagues, but Jacobs, turning up really solidified those 2 wins for me.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
it's a groin injury for Rondell Moore, and those don't go away quickly.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
All right. We still got a few more games. We'll hop into that unless we got more questions. Throw them in the chat, guys. Y'all think he'll play this week? Yeah, I think Jacobs is just on maintenance. I mean, he was close to not playing last week, I think, right? And then he
Yeah,
kind of
and he
switched
did
camp. So,
and he did tweak the calf at the end of the fourth quarter before overtime. So
mm,
just you just got to monitor it. But if he plays, you're playing him. There's just no doubt about it.
yeah. Patty says he's got 4 people on buy, pray. Yo, and one of my dynasty leagues, I know it's not a must win, but it's if I win, I'm in. I have so many people on buy. My team is absolute trash. I got to start Nico Collins and Sky Moore, I think.
Yeesh. But
But it's
you put yourself in a good position, so a loss doesn't kill you.
that's why I didn't mind. I'm like, all right, if I could get some help, I could clinch and get in this week, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. If you can
This is
get an
the only
82-yard,
this is the
you
only week. This is the only week that Blanca's rooting for me to win in Dynasty
just
ever.
better be fucking fine. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. He should be okay. I'm sure that he's just taking maintenance days at this point, of course. After just running like crazy, like a fucking gazelle that he is. Uh, All right, Chiefs Bengals hammer. We talked briefly about this game earlier, obviously with Chase coming back. Hopefully he's not on a pitch count, but even if he is, you pretty much have to play him if he's on your team.
Yep,
Because even in limited touches, bro, he's
he's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Man, this is a game I struggled with a little bit, and in particular when I was making my game line picks. I said this yesterday. I mean, I said this earlier today in the video where this game could go either way. Joe Burrow has went toe to toe with Mahomes and come out on top twice last year in the playoffs when it counted. So there's got to be something to be said for that. All that being said, I'm going to take the Chiefs here. I know they have some injuries, et cetera, but I'm still going to take the Chiefs here. But I could see that being probably the game of the week.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs too, but yeah, definitely should be a good game. I think I said like 34-31. A couple other people 35-28 or something like that. So it should be a decently high scoring game. But yeah, we'll see. I think the Chiefs do pull it out. We talked to Pacheco a little bit. McKinnon's a little banged up, so Pacheco might be kind of the only guy really back there. They did sign Melvin Gordon. I don't know if he plays at all, if anything. But Sky Moore again should be involved. Obviously, Mecole Hardman is out, but Sky Moore been a little more involved in the offense and is looking good. He's making plays. He had a big play called back last week.
I
That
remember that.
for like
Yeah.
30, 40 yards or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But it got called back. And but anyway, he looks good in the offense. Mahomes looks like he likes him. He's making big plays, so that is good. Can't feel the punt for jack shit. Why he's even on punt return? He's never played punt return before. He's never played punt return before. Why he's returning punts in the first place, I don't fucking know. But anyway, they said they relieved him of those duties, which they should have a long time ago. But Mixon hopefully should be back. I think he's still under the protocol, but he should be hopefully ready to go. Diesel said, last question, he swears. It's all good, bro. We're here for all the questions, for all the smoke. Chris Godwin, is he a buy for you guys? Oof. It's tough.
This is
If you're talking about for this year, yes. But I don't know what happens when Brady leaves, if he does leave next year. Now that doesn't have a family, maybe he still plays. There's rumors he could go back to the Patriots next year. I don't know how true those are. So that's the only thing. But Godwin is a great player regardless of Tom Brady.
mm-hmm.
Obviously, we've seen him do it without Tom Brady. But he is still decently young. I think he's 26 this year. He'll be 27 next year, if I'm not mistaken. For the rest of the season, that's an absolute smash. I mean, if you can get Godwin by giving up like giving up Dotson and a piece, or a Dotson and a pick, not a first, but if you can somehow keep your first and give up one of your other dudes to get Godwin, like I definitely go and do that because that helps you a lot for this year. But even still, Godwin will be a good player. He just obviously probably won't be top 10 or anything like that once Brady goes. But what do you think about Godwin, Hammer, for Dynasty here?
Yeah, he got to weird dynasty type play. Now he was pretty good before Brady got there. In 2019, he was tremendous. That pretty much breakout year for him. So, he has the talent, and like you said, he's only 26. A little bit of an injury history, but it looks like he's kind of got that behind him. Would it surprise me if Brady played again next year? No. Do I think he's going to play next year? I do. Now that he's got that whole marital situation kind of behind him. So what's holding him back from playing for another year, 2, 3? Who knows at this point? Um, so yeah, it really depends. As you said, what are you giving up? What's the price? You know what I mean? But yeah, I was never high on Godwin, just because, like I said, he's got a little bit of an injury history. But the guy, when he goes out there, Tom Brady targets him a lot. So, especially if you're trying to make a run, and get in the playoffs and kind of see if you can make some hay in the playoffs. But yeah, he's been pretty good over the last, 3 to 4, really 6 weeks. He had the big game last week, obviously, 13 targets, but he's averaging 10 targets a game over the course of the season. That's got to count for something. And the touchdowns are starting to come. He's got 2 touchdowns in his last 2 games played. So maybe the touchdowns start to happen. And yeah, rest of the season, definitely a good pickup. But yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, dude. Especially since you've got Pickens as like the fourth guy anyway. Who was your other one of the receivers? I forgot.
Yeah, Christian
You got
Watson, I believe.
Higgins, you got Waddle, you got St. Brown. So I mean, yeah, if you can get Godwin by giving up Judy or Dotson, and a pick, not a first, like I said, but if you can give up a pick in one of those guys and go get Godwin. I don't know how cheap you could get him. Just depends on what people's outlook is on them, especially after this season. And again, is it on a losing team? Is it on a mid team? Is it on a winning team? So depending what you got to spend, absolutely, I don't mind going to do that because you have 3 other, top guys that you can afford to give up, to give up a little bit. And if you can fucking keep that first, that's even more money straight to the
Mhm.
bank. Um, and he said Connor Hopkins, Hollywood all on bye, replace Hopkins with Garrett. Yeah, you good. That's a good move.
Mhm.
Simp, y'all think Ty Johnson's worth a pickup to play over Burke? No, not you're not playing him over Burks.
Definitely not.
You think guy to pick up is the other dude. The fuck is his name?
Something Westbrook, doesn't he have like a hyphenated name?
No,
That's
no, I'm talking about the Jets. Knight, whatever the fuck his name is.
oh, Z Knight.
Yeah, that's the
I don't
guy
even know
that you
his first
want to
name.
pick up, not Ty Johnson, if anybody. But I'm still gonna play Burks over him
Oh
regardless.
yeah, 100%.
Outsole said he's playing against Chase and Mixon. How do you think they'll do? I mean, listen, it's not a great matchup. I mean, it's a great matchup for them. It's not a great matchup for you because they're going against the Chiefs, which could be a high scoring game. So, I mean, I think they do well. Like we said, could be 30-30 or something like that. Mixon could have fucking 5 touchdowns. Chase could have 300 yards. I mean, who knows? But there's a higher chance of them doing well, being that they're playing the Chiefs.
But there are some injury concerns with both of them. So, obviously Chase just coming back, Mixon still in concussion protocol. So,
Mhm.
you got to keep your eye on those things as well. But yeah, considering if they do play in that specific game, could be a
Yeah,
high scoring game. Should be a high scoring game.
yeah. Patrick says he's in 2 other leagues, just no money, still competitive, but they're kind of throwaway leagues. Yeah, one is 5-7 and in eighth place, the other in fourth at 7-5. Yep, it'd be like that, bro.
For
Caddy
sure.
said Brady's on the brink of his career. Who knows who will QB after this year? Yeah, I mean, listen, we don't, and that's why, like in Dynasty, it's a little bit of a tricky situation. Because if the offense is just shit next year, he might not be great, but he is still a great wide receiver. We've seen that. He's proven that over time. So
Even
he's a
without Tom Brady.
solidified, proven wide receiver, even without Tom Brady. And if the situation does go to shit, once he has a good game, you can use that as trade bait and trade him at that point. So Dynasty is a
Hmm.
little bit, everything goes kind of up and down, and people's feelings go up and down, and so you just got to wait for that right time to get out of it. If you feel like you're stuck and you don't want to, you don't want to keep him. So if Jacobs doesn't play, would y'all play Pacheco or Hunt? Pacheco. What about you, Hammer?
Yeah, I tend to lean that way, but it looked like Jacobs will play. They're just, maintenance, as you were saying. So I think Jacobs is a pretty tough dude. He doesn't miss a lot of games.
Yeah, McKinnon is a little banged up, as I keep saying. So Pacheco was probably getting that work. Hunt, obviously. Chubb is going to get most of the work. Hunt could see work, though, too, especially if they go up by a lot. So, but yeah, I'm going with Pacheco there. I call bullshit, Stevie. You don't want the smoke. Yeah, we take all the smoke. We take all the questions.
All of it.
I don't know what this means, chaotic CO, but chaotic. Okay, chaotic coming from a Browns fan. Go Pacheco. Yep. Always talk. He tried to what do you call it? Tag chaotic. Is that Pacheco's the RB1? The Browns really about to turn it up and try to get Chubb the Russian crown. Hunt's a free agent at the end of the year. Yeah, isn't a priority. Go Pacheco. Yeah, we're rolling with Pacheco. We agree with you there, bro. If you need a non-conspiracy reason solely for the volume, Pacheco will double Hunt. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's what we're saying here. Which
Yeah,
is a
there's
high.
way less competition for Pacheco than there is for Hunt. Obviously, Hunt is the clear number two guy there, with Chubb doing his thing.
Donovan Zaddy Bam Knight. There he is.
Zaddy. I
Whatever
love
his name was. I know I've said it a bunch of times today and I keep like forgetting. But
that.
anyway, let's move on to the next game. Guys, throw them questions in the chat so we could get to it, or topics, whatever y'all want to talk about. But Chargers at Raiders. Jacobs, obviously, we just spoke about. Hopefully he does play. Looks like it's just kind of a maintenance thing. Devontae Adams has been solid. Carr's a bum, but Charger side, we talked about Mike Williams being out. Keenan Allen should have a decent day. Joshua Palmer possibly. Um, ESPN, god damn it. But yeah, what you think about this game? What you got, Hammer?
This is a really tough one because, just when you think the Raiders will never win a game again, they go out there and do some shit. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So this is a tough one. Oh man, the Chargers have been underwhelming all season. I know the injuries have been really crazy with, their wide receiver core and, all of that, but I'm still going to take the Chargers here. My confidence in the Raiders has just gone in the tank. But Josh Jacobs is awesome, dude. He's really good. I believe he's the RB1 through this week overall. So
Let's see.
I believe so.
Yeah, I have PPR. Yeah, 11 games. Yeah,
So
yeah.
Josh
That's
Jacobs has been really
monster.
awesome.
Fucking yeah.
But
I
he's
hope
been
he's the
he's
league in yards now too.
he didn't just have one. I mean,
Did he have his
obviously
bye
that.
already?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, the monster game we know that happened last week, but he's had some really monster games, like at least
Yeah.
4 or 5 of these things. So he's capable. He's more than capable of being that RB1. Mac Hollins is another solid pickup here if you need a wide receiver. I have him rolling out there in my dynasty league only because I have to, but Mac Hollins another decent pickup if you're desperate at wide receiver or it's a really deep league.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the Chargers in this game.
Yeah, me too. I'm rolling with the Chargers on that one. All right, we got two more games here. Patrick says, "Let's talk about how Bagla abandons us." Right? This motherfucker went Casper because he knows he's gonna owe me a Chubb jersey. Oh, that's
Hey,
right. I forgot about that bet that you made. That's right. That's right. He might very well have to.
we will hold him to
What was
that.
the bet again? Was it rushing yard? Total rushing yards? Was it
Yeah, Chubb and
bet?
Barkley.
And yeah, we've got Chubby by about 50 yards, 48, something like that, 40 to
Oh, so
50
it's
yards. So
so it's still a dance.
yeah, it's still relatively close. Chubby with the 12 TDs though. Uh, but yeah. All right, let's roll these last two games here. Colts at Cowboys. I think we're both going for the boys here.
Yes, we are taking Dallas here.
Um, Zeke, Pollard, CD, Dak. I mean, Schultz. They're starting to roll a little bit, starting to get their
Gallup.
shit together. Defense has been solid. Micah been doing his thing. We talked briefly about Saturday and kind of him doing his thing there for the Colts, though, getting the ball to Michael Pittman, playing Matt Ryan, getting the ball to Taylor. But
Dallas just has too
yeah,
much.
yeah,
Yeah, Dallas is
you're still
just
playing
better
Pittman,
offense.
guys. You're still playing Pittman, right? We're not sitting Pittman or Taylor, unless you got a better option than Pittman. But
What do you think about Paris Campbell action?
probably not starting Paris Campbell this week against the Cowboys. Um, they've been solid, pretty solid defensively, but yeah, I'm not rolling with Paris Campbell this week. Pittman can start, but that's about it for the Colts. Pittman and Taylor are the only startable
Yeah.
options for me anyway for this week.
Yep.
Why do you think you'd start Paris Campbell? Is he a sit for you or
Yeah, no, but it depends on what the other options are. I know we had a lot of Paris Campbell questions last week, so I was just
yeah?
throwing it out there.
All right, Caddy. Good night, brother. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you as
Yes,
always, my
sir.
guy. Patrick says nobody jumps off the page. No, Patrick, tell him. Make sure anybody in here hit that like, hit that subscribe. Nobody jumps out. Where's my boy Jacob? He was talking it up last time, telling everybody make sure hit that like and subscribe. Patrick, question for this week. Joku's out. Yeah, it's rough. Might not
Hmm.
play a tight end if I can swing it. No, you got to play a tight end. Throw something in there. Worst case, I'll check the scores and I might go Jelani Woods. Yeah, there's other
Oh,
tight ends available, but yeah, nobody jumps off the page. That's what you were referring to. I thought you were referring to Caddy saying goodnight.
that's funny.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it's not a horrible deal, Jelani Woods. I mean, who else is out there? I know there's not going to be a ton of great options, and you can stream anybody. They're all going to be shit options. It just, going to be luck of the draw. So
Yep.
that all depends. But all right, let's get to the last game real quick, and then guys, any last questions? Throw them in there before we hop off. Let's get to this last game, which is going to be the Saints, the Bucks. As we were just talking about Tom Brady and Godwin, and Godwin getting a bunch of receptions. We got Lenny Fournette coming back. We've got Olave still kind of the only dude over there. I think Landry's healthy, right? Landry's playing.
Yep.
But I mean, they just haven't been good at all. I mean, now they've got Taysom Hill throwing passes now too, coming in for a couple of plays. I don't know what the fuck is going on there.
Yeah.
I guess they're just trying anything to create some kind of spark or try and score because they just suck. But yeah, what do you think about this game?
The first thing that jumps to mind is what's the over under on Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore getting into a fight?
I'll take the over.
I'll take the over as well. But yeah, I think
might be 0.5. We gotta check underdog.
yeah, it is a 0.5, and I'm going way over. I'm going 1.5.
Shit.
This is an interesting matchup because, as I said, the Saints have had the Bucks number, outside of that one playoff game, I think 2 years ago. But I'm still going to take the Bucks here. I don't think the Saints have enough offensively. Not to say that the Bucks are any great shakes on defense, but the Bucks are still playing for something. The Saints are not. And for whatever reason, I'm taking the Bucks. As much as something tells me take the Saints, I'm still going to take the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm still taking the Bucks too, without a doubt. Definitely hitting the books. All right, Morale is there. It's not bad. Dolchich, but yeah. I mean, Morale's not bad, I guess. Didn't he score a touchdown the other week? I don't think he did anything last week, but I don't have it. Let me pull up Sleeper real quick.
For who?
Moreau?
Oh, Foster Moreau? He's all right. He's not. I mean, listen, if you got to play him, you got to play him.
How do you even spell his fucking name?
Moreau.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, look, 7 targets last game. I mean, it hasn't had a bunch of catches. It had a touchdown last game, but yeah, I mean, listen, I can roll with Moreau, I guess. They're playing the Chargers. Maybe they need to score. Moreau's not bad. I think I like Moreau out of those options. So, but I'm not I hate Moreau.
He's
What
going
the
to get
fuck?
some
What the
targets.
fuck is Woods? What has Jelani Woods done? Like
I don't
nothing.
even know.
Oh shit! Yeah, eight catches on 9 targets last week. Where the fuck did this come from? He's questionable. That might not. No, I think I do like Jelani Woods maybe better, especially against Dallas. Like they could be holding up on them wide receivers. And maybe Jelani Woods gets free. Damn, that's a tough one. All right, fuck it. I'm going Jelani Woods. It's gonna be my final answer. What you got, Hammer? Jelani or Moreau?
Yeah, I don't mind Moreau. Like I said, no Waller, no Renfro. I don't mind Moreau here.
Don't change your tone now. Last week you was sitting on Mike Evans' lap when I brought up Denzel Ward and Lattimore. What am I flopping on? I don't know what I'm flopping on. I don't think we just talked about Mike Evans, did we?
Yeah, Mike Evans fighting Lattimore.
Yeah, we talked about Mike Evans. I don't know what do you mean? What did I flop on? I still think he'll moss the shit out of Lattimore. Mikey don't play. All right. Don't fuck with Mikey. But yeah, I'm still on Mikey. I mean, he hasn't done great, so I mean, he's not like a great play just in general, not because of Lattimore, but just because he hasn't been playing good. And him and Brady haven't been on the same page. He didn't need to use Denzel. My boy Emerson shut his ass down. Sit your little bandwagon ass. What?
What
I
is
don't know what I really said about Mike Evans. I don't remember I don't remember coming off
what?
of anything that I said. Yeah, I said I liked Mike Evans and maybe he didn't have a good game last game,
Mike Evans is still awesome.
but he's still Mike Evans. So it is what it is. That could change at any point in time for him doing his thing. But yeah, I'm still going with the Bucks. I mean, Edwin seems to be the guy that Brady's connecting more with. They're both getting a ton of targets, but it just hasn't been connecting with Evans. But other than that, guys, that wraps up the preview, I guess. And any other questions out there, throw them in before we hop off this. We'll be on tomorrow night, 10 p.m. So come join us then.
Yeah.
That's I don't
Couple.
care. I don't care about the stats. It doesn't necessarily matter in this necessary situation. And who knows if Lattimore is going to be on Mike Evans for every single play or following him around the field. He might be on Godwin or both, or who knows.
That's something I'm tuning in to watch either way. So really
Yeah.
quick, I am not available tomorrow or Sunday. I got
Oh,
I got
hammers
some
throwing
works.
me.
I got some work stuff on Sunday that I got to take care of, and tomorrow night I will be out on the town doing my thing with the wife and the family. So yeah, I'll be back Monday.
So I guess it's just me, guys, tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. We'll have fun. Fuck it.
Either way,
Yeah. All right. We out. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we'll be dropping the little betting advice that we got for you on the lines and some underdog bets. So make sure y'all check that out or keep an eye on that for tomorrow morning. Otherwise, I'll see y'all tomorrow night.
yes, sir.
Peace.